The current generation Toyota Supra has been around since 2020, and this is about how long I had my channel. This is about how long I've been trying to get one on my channel. So finally, now, thanks to Jaguar of Sarasota, I found this in their pre-owned inventory. 2023 model year Toyota Supra 3.0 Premium. And today I'm going to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle. We're going to check it out, exterior, interior, test drive, engine, the whole 9 yards. And if this is the first time we meet, my name is Matt and I post 2 car reviews every single week. That's something that interests you. Hit that little red subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. And now let's get back to this. Nowadays, a lot of manufacturers are doing a lot of collaborations, a lot of working together to develop certain vehicles, and this is a perfect example of it. Now, this has been developed alongside with BMW, sharing a lot of its components with the BMW Z4 convertible. We're going to get into some of the details while we take a look at the engine, the transmission, the interior of this vehicle. But first of all, let's take a look at the design, because arguably this is one of the best design of a sport car of this century, at least in my opinion. Check this out. We're going to start right here, right on the roof of this vehicle. You can see this indent right here. This is all for better performance, better aerodynamics. This air swooshes through it and makes this vehicle glide through it basically. And this huge hood with the 2 bulges on the side. You do have 2 trim pieces right over here. I kind of wish that they were real. These are fake, like the air exhaust that would normally suck up the hot air and kind of get it out from this vehicle. Now you do have these big LED lights. There's 6 reflectors in each of them, and this very thin daytime running lights at the bottom. A huge nose, if you will, with this open space right underneath is so typical for a lot of race cars. And then you have a lot more open spaces on the side to let the air circulate through it, help with the cooling of the engines, with the aerodynamics. Of course, you can't forget about this front splitter right here, keeping this vehicle grounded on the road, and this extended spoiler right on the side as well. Now, the one component that's shared with the BMW Z4 is the engine. Let's check it out. Well, let's check this out, guys. Before we look at the engine itself, take a look at this hood. It's massive, it's huge, and this clamshell design makes it look like we're getting underneath a gazebo or something. Of course, it's held up high by this nice hood struts on both sides, and you can see a lot of bracing for added rigidity and a better performance on this vehicle. But the engine itself, take a look how long it is, and that is because this is a BMW-derived 3-liter inline 6. It is a twin scroll single turbo engine producing 382 horsepower, 368 pound-feet of torque. Now it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, or wait for it, for this year Toyota offers this as a limited edition with the manual transmission. There's only going to be 500 of those made, so if you get your hands on one, well, you're lucky. Now, this is a rear-wheel drive architecture. It is a very quick car. Toyota claims that the 0 to 60 on this one is 3.9 seconds. We're going to check that out at the end of this video. And the side of it, I better get out of here so you can actually admire it and take a look at how beautiful this vehicle looks. I think that Toyota designers did a tremendous job. Again, A+ for design on this car. It looks like a proper sport car should. It does have the long and flat sloping down hood over here. It does sit low to the ground, hence it is pretty low. That's why they say that the hardest part about this vehicle is to gracefully get in and out of that I'm going to try to do that in just a little bit. And it does have the short back end, and it's much wider. So let's take a look what else we have. 19-inch as far as the rims, and I love the color. That's kind of this matte satin black color on it. They're 255s 35 as far as the front size tires. The 275s in the back, so wider tires for the wider track on here. You do have some serious stopping power with these Brembo brakes. 13.7-inch rotors in the front and about 13-inch rotors in the back as well, with the 4-piston calipers in here. And then the standard amenities for a lot of modern cars right now: turn signal indicator and blind spot assist, smart entry system. You can see I can lock this vehicle pressing this button right here. The mirrors fold in, and all I have to do is stick my hand inside of the door handle to unlock it. You do have these A-pillars painted in this piano black, creating this floating design in here, and this trim piece is something else. Now, I wish this was real and it actually served the purpose, but this is just to start widening the body of this car, and of course the better aerodynamics. And you can see this very aggressive side skirt at the bottom. Again, this is all about performance. Take a look at the back. And check this out, guys. This is the rear of it. I love it. Let's start over here with this indent on the roof of this vehicle, creating this better airflow. The air flows through this slope back glass, and here's what we have here. Now, this is not a separate spoiler. Kind of the spoiler is built into this trunk lid over here, creating that better aerodynamic look. And then over here, again, it's nicely sculpted. You do have this extending lights on both sides. They're fully LEDs. Toyota Supra in the middle right, GR on the side for Gazoo Racing, and then the bottom of it is absolutely incredible. Again, the detail that they put into designing it, making it look sporty when standing still, crazy. You do have two massive exhausts, very aggressive diffuser, and an extra light right over here. Of course, you do have the rear view camera. Now, with this BMW key, let's pop this trunk open. Let's see if we have any room inside. Well, I'm so glad that it's a gate, not the trunk, because we would not have enough space to get in. But let's take a quick look at it. First of all, right on top, you can see this emergency release in case you get locked up in the trunk. Of course, it's not closed up, so what would be the reason for it? You can basically crawl out in the front. But anyways, it is pretty deep, and you can definitely fit a set of golf clubs in it. As a matter of fact, I think they might have thought about it while designing it by putting this indent in the middle there, so you can fit them nice and comfortable, as well as maybe a set of skis or something. Now, two big speakers right in there. You do have a little bit of a second floor, if you will, but there's really nothing underneath it other than the auxiliary battery for the vehicle. And of course, you do have this cargo cover nicely protecting your private belongings inside of this trunk area. So while we're at it, let's listen to the sound of the closing door. Pretty nice and solid, considering it does have the frameless design, so there's no frame around the window. And let's take a look at the door panel over here. What do we have? Just a regular suspects. Now, you do have the JBL stereo with two speakers on the door. You have the trunk release at the bottom, tiny little bit of storage, and then you have your window lock and mirror controls over here. Now, if you take a look inside, check this out, Toyota Supra right over here. But what I do really like about this, that they didn't go really crazy aggressive with the seats. Now, they're sporty seats, there's no question about it. They do have leather and aluminum looking inserts over here. They look like they're probably not ventilated because they're not perforated, but they do have some contrast stitching, and of course the seats are adjusted you know, with the power adjustment right over here. You also have two memory seat settings at the bottom. Well, let me jump in here. Let's do a test. Let's see if I can gracefully get in and get out of this vehicle without being laughed at. Or you can if you want to, but let's see. Put your foot in, slide in, boom. Nice, comfortable while you're on the interior. There's definitely some room in here, so no question about it. I'm going to show you that interior in just a little bit. In order to do that, I actually have to get out and grab that camera, so let's see how I do. And you be the judge. And here it is, the interior of this 2023 Toyota. Does look a lot like BMW, and that's because it's got a lot of technology from it. Now that includes your screen and of course the iDrive system that you have instead of the Toyota system. But overall the interior looks pretty good. It does have the soft material right on top of the dashboard. I like how the vents are positioned. You do have the basically emergency lights right over here. Take a look at the steering wheel. Now I wish this could use a little bit of work in my opinion. Maybe a flat bottom, something a little bit fancier over here. Now it does have the pedal shifters because we do have the automatic transmission on this one. So you can enter it in the manual mode and use your pedal shifters. Definitely, you know, a lot of those buttons come straight from the BMW. There's no question about it, including, you know, the light buttons right over here. That's where you control your lights. So you have your auto lights on, then you have your off button and different positioning of the lights as well. Same thing with the stalks as far as the turn signals or the wipers. They're all BMW, including the key. Let me show you the key. This is an interesting part. I thought maybe the Toyota would kind of own the key, but yeah, this is definitely a BMW key. Lock, unlock, trunk panic. You got nice red color, and then you do have a Toyota logo. That's where normally the BMW logo would be. Toyota logo right on the steering wheel here too. Now you do have some buttons on here. This is your cruise control settings and the dynamic cruise control. And here we have different modes, volume, and then phone and the microphone, like kind of a speaker button over here. So let's take a look what we have. So you do have this digital cluster. You can see that the main thing right there is your tachometer. Let's rev it up a little bit. Actually sounds pretty darn good. And then you have a little bit of display over there. So you have your mileage, you have your gas gauge. On the other side you have the temperature. You can put it in the sport mode if you would like to. Here, we're in the sport mode right now. And let's see if there's any other customization that we can see on this screen itself. Different modes are basically controlling the screen. In there, here's your volume, and that's it. There's nothing else to see here. Now, just point out it's 91 degrees and we're in April here in Florida. So take a look at this. Now, this is kind of a small display. This is that 8.8-inch display out of BMW. Hopefully you can see it. It's really not flickering. It's just a different camera ratio. So what do we have here? So you do have the media, communications, navigation. You do have this BMW controller right over here. So let's scroll through some of those options that we have. Check it out. So as far as the media, okay, so you have your music collection. You can definitely see this is a BMW. Media search, artist, browse, album titles. That's of course if you have this built in or, you know, on the menu. Here's your main menu again. Communications, navigation. Let's see, we'll take a look at the map. Yep, that's a BMW map. Looks pretty darn good though, no question about it. And if you're used to this system, which a lot of you that owned BMWs before maybe, you could definitely get used to it. Now, this is also a touch screen, so you can control it via that controller at the bottom. And then, you know, enter address. Let's see if it's, yeah, street, house number. Yeah, actually, yeah, not bad. Fairly sensitive, so pretty good. Media and audio. So what do we have here? FM, AM, satellite radio. And then let's go back out here. Communications, mobile devices. Now, what's interesting that this vehicle is equipped with the Apple CarPlay, but not with Android Auto. Now, this would be a turnoff for me because I am definitely an Android user. So Apple CarPlay, apps, screen mirroring, etc. I wish it did have the Android Auto and it was wireless. That would be even better. So here's your screen. Down here you have basically a shortcut. Now, some people say that this is for your stations, and you can definitely save the different functions. So let's say 2 is going to be communications, 3 is not assigned. So we can actually assign different functions to each of those buttons and have it as a shortcut. You have your mode, band, volume, power. You know, you have the seek or track over there. and then you have your climate control settings. So you have the dual zone climate control. Again, you have the heated but no ventilated seats, just kind of like I thought without seeing the perforated leather. This is your automatic climate control settings. You can check it out, temperature changes, different vent setting, etc. And then, you know, again, the gear shifter out of BMW for sure. You know, put it in reverse, and yeah, let's see, actually, let's put it in reverse and let's see what the rear view camera looks like. So you do have it open up only on like half of the screen. I wish this was bigger. You do have the trajectory lines, active ones, and it shows right over here too, the top kind of an image of the vehicle. However, you can't see anything around it, so there's not the 360 camera. And this is your rear view camera. Quality of it is good, but as far as the size, not as much. Let me see if I can take this maybe away. No, I can't. I can just turn off basically the sensors and the trajectory lines, but I can't make it bigger. So, you know, this is it. That is what it is. You have the shifter from the BMW. This is your controller. You can turn off the engine start-stop feature, put it in the sport mode. That's the only mode other than the standard one that's available. You do have the electronic parking brake. I do love the carbon fiber trim right over here. You do have the USB port right over there, 12-volt power adapter right underneath here. That's where you put your phone to charge it up wirelessly. Cup holders, and of course no sunroof. You do have a few buttons as far as the lights, and you know, see this indent in the hood, the roof itself really it translates into the interior of the vehicle, but it's in the middle, so you're not going to bump your head in there. Illuminated mirrors, and then this is the interior portion of it. Let's see how it drives. I'm ready to take this vehicle for a spin, but before we do that, as always, let's take a look at the different trim levels and pricing that are available on 2023 Supra. So first of all, the basic model is a 2.0 liter twin-stroke single turbo inline 4 as well, BMW derived engine, and that starts at $44,040. 53 if you want to get the 3.0. 56,150. That's the starting price of the one that I'm sitting in right now, and that's the 3.0 Premium. And then if you wanted to get this limited edition A91 MT for manual transmission, there's only 500 of them that are going to be produced. So get in line, or if you find one at the dealership, I mean, this might be a collector's vehicle, although, you know, I have a feeling that if it's popular, they're going to make more of them. That starts at $58,845, so everything under $60,000 for the top of the line. That's definitely less than you can probably buy a Z4, like maybe the M40i, which, you know, would be a comparable to basically the one that I'm sitting in right now. Well, let's take it for a quick drive. Let's see how it handles. One thing, a lot of people were complaining about Toyota going in with BMW and developing this vehicle. I think it's actually a great thing, and I'm glad that they did it. And I'll tell you my theory on it. I've always liked the look of the Japanese vehicles, okay, but never the performance could match the looks of it, right? So like a good example would be an Lexus IS, a great looking vehicle, but it's lacking on the performance side. Now this, let's check this out. We're going to see a little bit off the line acceleration, then I'm going to take it on the road, see if we can do a little bit more. But first, let's start. Make sure I'm in the sport mode. There you go. Yep, let's go. I tell you, this vehicle is about 3.9 seconds 0 to 60, which is quick, right? Not a Corvette quick, but quick. And this is what I love about it. It's stiff, it's nice, it is very responsive, the steering is precise, and it's definitely, you can feel that this is a rear-wheel drive vehicle. And this long hood. Now, visibility is somewhat limited sitting in this vehicle. Yeah, there's some blind spots. I think that a lot of people who are driving performance cars are used to it, so we can't expect to have the visibility of the SUV, which, you know, has glass all over. But it feels good. Like I said, the seats are fairly aggressive, but they're not overly aggressive. They hold you in place, but they don't squeeze you. And I'm sure there's some adjustments in here that we can do, but I like it the way that it sits here. See, kind of merging in traffic, no issues here. Nice and smooth. Even, you know, you can hear the engine. Obviously, it is more of a performance vehicle, especially if you reduce it and go, you can definitely feel it, but it's not like obtrusive, right? It doesn't interrupt you with anything. You can still have a phone conversation and be inside of this vehicle. Love the rev matching on it too. Not too long ago, I've done the 300, the new Z. I like this better. Let's go. Whoa. You can definitely feel that this is a rear-wheel drive vehicle. We did a little bit of a side action here in the back, but we're able to keep it in control. Let's go. At almost 72 miles per hour, this is definitely a quick vehicle. I definitely like it. I like how the power is delivered. I like everything about it, really. I mean, I didn't have a doubt that it was going to be great, but I didn't know it was going to be that good. So this is definitely not only the looks, the performance that matches it. This would be a perfect vehicle, sports vehicle for me. And now with less than, you know, $60,000, there's really not many options that you can choose from that's going to deliver that kind of performance to the road. Wow. I wish I've gotten it sooner to test out, and you know, now I'm tempted to go with the 2.0 and see how that differs, because obviously it's a smaller displacement, less horsepower, and then maybe if I'm lucky, I'm gonna get my hands on the manual transmission one. Although I gotta tell you, this is a nice transmission. The manual transmission that's on the current generation Supra 3.0 is a transmission also from BMW that basically they upgraded. They took it from the 4-cylinder Z4 manual transmission, which is not available in the United States, but it's available in Europe, and they fitted it into this vehicle. And this definitely doesn't get old. Wow, to sum it all up, this is a great vehicle. The looks, the performance, the comfort of the drive, the sound that it makes, I really can't think of many things that I don't like about it. Yeah, the Android Auto, but it wouldn't be a deal killer. I could get used to it even without it. Maybe a little bit better infotainment system. Now, I'm not a big fan of the BMW's iDrive. I know they've improved somewhat for the current generation BMWs, but that didn't transfer over to the Toyota as far as I can see. But you know, that's something definitely I can get used to. But the fun of driving it, this is the main thing about this vehicle. I think that's why people are buying them. That's why they're really flying off the showroom floors, and I wasn't able to get it until now on my channel, but I'm so glad that I did. And I hope that you like this video, because I certainly did like making it. And if you like watching videos like this, go ahead, check out the rest of my channel, hit that subscribe button, and if you like this one, go ahead and give me a like. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.